What's poppin', real fucking gamers? We are on the 32nd iteration of the Nifty Cauldron podcast. I'm one of your esteemed hosts, Kelly, and this is my other esteemed co-host.
It's me, Milan. For a second, my brain thought you were going to say 32th episode, and I was like, that doesn't sound quite right.
32. Also, that's the new shit. If you're not 32, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And today we are joined by a very special guest by the name of
Ariel.
Ariel.
I hate when you say it like that. Rude.
What you should have done is just been like, Milan too. Just cucked her. No, just kidding. But hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the pod. Ariel is a longtime attendee of the stream. She is a mod. With her powers combined, she is the backbone of our stream. So we just want to shout out Ariel. Ariel's wonderful. She's great. Her voice is like an angel singing.
Oh.
But yes, it's good to have you here on the pod.
Thank you for being here.
And this week we're going to be talking about some D&D.
Wow.
But before we do, if you like what we do, like Ariel as a guest, that like button, maybe subscribe, ring that little bell, because who knows where next guest might be.
Who knows what our next guest might be? Perhaps it'll be either the left or right titty of Ariel. Woo! Damn. I always laugh. So yeah, last week we kind of ended on a cliffhanger. I was basically about to reveal my new D&D character, which coincidentally is also part of this playgroup. Ariel is part of the playgroup, so we thought that this would be a good time to, shove her into the podcast. She's part of our wonderful administrative team, so now it's her time to shine. So basically, I was about to reveal my new character, and we're all going to talk about our characters, and then we're going to fuck on Ariel for a bit because we have to. You'll know why when it comes up. But basically...
And you're all welcome to join us in the comments.
Yeah, you're welcome to join us in the comments. Tell us about any class.
Please drag me.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just exclusively fucking up on Ariel. I will delete any other comment. This will not be accepted.
But also, if you want to talk to us about your D&D characters, either like favorite race or favorite class that you like to play, what edition you like, go ahead and leave that comment below. We love to read our comments. I like reading them. They're very entertaining. But yeah, join. Tell us more. Let's go ahead and open with Ariel. Let's talk about Ariel's character because she's the guest. Let's be good hosts and not be a piece of shit at Amy.
But also, speaking of good hosts, before that, tell the people about yourself, Ariel. What do you do? Where can people find you?
This is already really chaotic. I'm doing a bad job. Excuse me.
So, hi, like Kelly said, I am part of her moderation team. Kelly and I have been friends nearly 10 years at this point. Like, we're getting there. And Milan and I recently became friends through Kelly, bringing people together, as always.
I'm the social glue.
You were the linchpin.
I am the wind beneath everybody's fucking wings.
I've worked at Disneyland for the past 10 years, helping little girls and little boys realize their princess and knight and fairy tale dreams in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Hell yeah.
I also am part of the team that helps create the Labyrinth of Jareth Masquerade Ball here in Los Angeles. It's one of the largest masquerade balls in North America.
Balls.
And I work for Crunchyroll on their events team. I go to different conventions and set up the booth and help on their show floor. It's lots of fun. And I've been doing that for the past, I think, a couple of years now, 3 or 4, something like that. I do many things.
Mm-hmm. We love a multifaceted queen. Yeah.
You only have 3 jobs? What the fuck is up with that?
Oh, then technically 4, because I also have like my
only 4 jobs. What? No room? We just schedule for a 5th one.
Well, D&D is gonna take up some time in my schedule too, and moderating streams and then working on the podcast with you guys. So I don't sleep.
No, Ariel is a multifaceted queen, and we respect that. She's got strong hustle and just amazing work ethic, and also her back is so strong because she carries all of us. So yeah, now that we've got the, sexy intro out of the way, why don't you tell us a little bit about your D&D character?
So y'all are gonna flame me because that's all you ever do when we talk about D&D.
Get ready.
This is only my second time playing D&D, and technically we've only really gotten session 0 out of the way for this second campaign. But first time I played D&D was with a group of friends, actually from Labyrinth. and my DM homebrewed a couple of races and like classes and stuff that he wanted to try out for his campaign. So I ended up playing a moon elf because he directly added me with that one. Like that was definitely coming for me. And I accepted the challenge and was like, oh hell yeah, let's go. Because we all know I'm a slut for anything to do with the sky.
The sky, the moon, the stars.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So I played a moon elf ranger, and I grew very fond of her. And like all of my dice are very like night sky themed. Like I have ones with stars, and they're all like blues or purples or have some kind of like night element to them. So sticking with my brand. And when we talked about starting up a new D&D campaign, I did want to play again because it was a lot of fun to play that first campaign. And I'm kind of sad it kind of like trickled off, but as D&D campaigns do,
Yep.
it happens all the time.
They come in hot and they burn out early.
F in chat for the campaigns we have lost. Moment of silence. Moving on. So when we were talking about playing this campaign, I was like, you know what, I already have this character. I'm very fond of her. It's only my second campaign, so like I don't think my brain would be able to handle creating someone brand new and making the backstory and making all the choices of, she's gonna look like this or she's gonna be this class or he, depending if I want to play a male character. Maybe the next campaign I'll be a boy.
Hell yeah. I love being a boy. Specifically in D&D. I love role-playing men. I feel like that's kind of more fun than role-playing women just because, I don't know, I wouldn't even say I'm a woman. So anyways, non-binary pals, but go on.
So the DM of our new campaign very lovingly helped me bork my character because according to Nifty, she was too strong and had too many fun additional quirks.
She was fucking broken.
I don't like the attitude you're having, Ariel. All right, so anyway. Moving forward, this is not a guest episode anymore. I don't like this. Don't sass me on my own podcast.
Yeah, but like this is how we just work. Like we drag each other constantly.
This is true.
It's accurate.
But they don't have to know that.
I think the world knows it at this point, dude. I drag you in your own stream.
This is true.
But I do so with love.
Abuser talk.
Bruh.
What?
Rude.
Just cut it out. It's fine. It's fine.
She wasn't. Do not cut this out. She wasn't borked. She wasn't broken. It wasn't actually the moon elf that was the problem. It was my class that I got at level 3 because it was something from a different version of D&D that we were also playing with, Xanathar's Guide. So like
Yeah, Xanathar's Guide to everything.
Yeah, so that subclass? How do you call it?
Archetype, the Gloomstalker.
Yeah, the archetype, the Gloomstalker. So that was what actually borked her because it made her like ridiculously overpowered. Even though I constantly struggled when we played D&D the first time. So like maybe he was trying to like pad my idiocy, but it's fine.
At the same time, you can have like a very good character that's like really good in theory, but then all of a sudden you just roll like shit and it just doesn't fucking matter at that point. You just get butt fucked, which is the perfect example of what happened to Milan during his session 0.
I mean, I could go into it, or like, do we want to talk about our characters first and maybe like chronicle our session 0s because mine happened last.
Yeah, we'll talk about our characters first.
Oh yeah, so Aislinn has been brought back. I am still a moon elf ranger.
Fucking moon elves.
Listen! I love her. Don't talk about my lady like that. I did send him like the original draft of my story, which was then returned. It went from 1 page to 3 pages of notes. So I had to essentially just rewrite it. And then it turns out that he only gave everyone else minor notes and he just wanted to see if I would do it, that rat bastard.
Absolutely.
If it makes you feel any better, I got 0 notes. So yeah, this is perfect.
Fuck you.
That's it.
Fuck you.
I mean, look, it's hard being the superior and it takes a toll on me every single day.
At the same time, bitch, I helped you write yours first, so lick my ass.
Yeah, you did.
But to be fair, he did then roast all of you in the group chat saying that mine was the most detailed and like fullest story.
At the same time, my backstory slapped. He didn't talk about it or whatever. And at the same time, you've got bodacious titties, so I get it.
Yeah. We totally get it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We don't have much to offer in bribes for the DN,
And yet I'm the only one who played session 0 with the camera off.
No, I didn't have my camera on.
Oh, you didn't either?
No. And I feel very peer pressured about it, honestly.
I mean, if you don't want to, you don't want to. If you want to pick your nose and piece, that's your prerogative.
It kind of goes both ways, right? Like, I perform better and it makes me more comfortable to roleplay with camera off. But then typically people on the other side are like, well, from their perspective, it helps them roleplay better when they can see the other people.
Very
so it's
fair.
kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this is my first time playing D&D in a virtual setting. I've always played D&D in person, so I've always essentially had like perma camera on. So I don't really feel some kind of way about role playing in front of other people. I don't give a fucking shit. If I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it, Scoob. I will say whatever the fuck I want. And yeah, we'll get into my character in a little bit, but we'll go ahead and flip it over to Milan. You can tell us about your character. Blah, blah.
My character is pretty basic, I would say. It's a concept I've had. I actually looked it up. I made him in 2016 or 2017 was when I originally made this rogue. And I wanted to, not necessarily like a unique spin on rogue, because nothing is unique anymore, right? But to have like a different take on a rogue that's not just the stealthy dude who like picks locks and steals everything kind of situation.
Yeah, like the stereotypical, like, I'm just in it for
the money and
the money.
fuck my party and, you know, stuff like that. So I tailored him to be like more of like a dapper butler type character.
He buttles.
Yeah, of like a supportive role, but who will still fight dirty. Like
pocket sand.
For example, actually quite literally pocket sand. Or like he'll challenge you to a duel like very honorably, but you first have to like agree to the terms and services of the duel, which are conveniently like on this piece of paper, and then like he'll show you the piece of paper, but as you read it, it'll incant a fireball spell in your face. Duel over, you know, like things like that.
I like it. I love it.
So I hope I get to do it properly, because we're starting at low level. We're level 1.
Level 1?
And a lot of these ideas are reliant on money, you know, just a lot of gold to be able to buy the things you want and need to make it all work.
Just like IRL.
Yeah, right? So, like, I hope I don't die before I get to do all of those things, because I specifically tailored my character to be, like, feats and stats and stuff, to be more skill checks and out-of-combat/social situations.
Mm-hmm.
With the idea, like, well, everybody else is going to pick stuff for combat, because that's what I would normally do.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope it's not really necessary, because 5th edition rogues are very weird compared to other, like, I will never get a secondary attack, like, naturally. Like, a level 20 rogue still only hits the one time. So combat is either going to be, if I get sneak attack, I will do fuck you damage. If I don't get sneak attack, I will hit like a wet paper towel.
Oh.
There's no in between. It's just those two, you know?
Meep.
So, you know, I'm hoping to be more useful with item usage and outside of combat than in combat.
I'm sure you'll be useful.
I mean, I know I will be.
At the end of the day, if Milan sucks, we could just live inside of him like a tauntaun. It'd be fine. Keep me warm.
This is also true.
Keep me warm.
But yeah, and, you know, TLDR, to not go too deep into the backstory, but he's out on a quest for revenge.
Wow.
Vengeance. Yeah.
Vengeance. Yeah, exciting.
I love that.
Yeah, love that for you.
But speaking about vengeance,
yeah,
I know it ties into your character.
Yes and no. It does specifically because of the deity that I worship. So
it was a good segue. Give me the one good segue.
No, bitch. I'm just kidding. Let's see. So I made a character.
That's a decent segue.
Yeah, I made a character. I decided to make it like a dumb idiot. She's 14 years old. She's from basically like a orphanage that is run specifically by a church. So she was essentially being raised to be like basically like a war priest for the most part. Backstory. We don't want to go too far into it, but basically her quote unquote father is sending her on a quest for some ancient text from, you know, her deity, but she is, again, not very smart. She grew up in a very like closed environment. She's kind of like a little too trusting, like kind of naive, but then she's also like, you know, a 14-year-old child wearing chainmail and wielding a giant pike. So she's kind of like, so far, at least in our session 0, like I was the most armored person that we ran into. And yeah, I'm just like a 14-year-old girl and I'm just like, hi, you know, kind of thing. Like she's really bubbly, she's really cute. But then at the same time, she just, you know, wants to pike people in the anus and fucking Vlad the Impaler them. So she's got like a weird kind of duality to her. So I'm really excited to play her like from a role play sense, just because like I've never played an idiot. So yeah. And already in the session 0, I had to like think about it because, you know, some shit was going down and I was just like, part of me wanted to be one way, but then I knew like my character would be another, and so I like really just leaned in and I was like, fuck it, let's go, because you gotta just do what's good for your character. So yeah, really excited to play her. She's super cute. She's just kind of like a little dumb 14-year-old blonde, just too trusting child. She's literally a child. But it's super funny because in my session 0, the child did way more damage than the fucking 135-year-old elf monk. So it was a good time.
Oh, dang.
I mean, for now, get used to it. Like that might never change.
It might not. I mean, at the same time, bruh, like she fucked hard. I'm really glad like the DM really put in a little zest of combat during our first sessions, because I did specifically say, look, I want to see like how hard she fucks, and she fucks really hard. So I just love the fact that she's like this little tiny 5'3" cutie that's just like literally impaling people up the anus and like fucking killing them. It's great. Yeah, how'd your session go?
My session was a solo session, and I impaled people with arrows just through the fucking spine.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Just one-shotted the 2 foes that I fought.
Yeah.
Because the dice gods favored me that day, and he's just like, wow, that's going a lot quicker than I expected. I was like, yeah, like, it's been a while since I've played, but like, if I do it, I remember how to fucking do it. It's a lot of math, which is not my favorite, but
I mean, luckily we are going to be using Roll20, and so you can just program the math in. That's what I did.
Yeah, but
I bought so many dice.
This bitch stubborn.
I
would rather hold up the entire party doing math.
Because you want to use your pretty dice. At the same time, it's a commitment, and I respect that.
Listen, I think I sent like a picture in the group chat of just like my piles and piles of dice, and someone did the math, and it's like $300 or $400 worth of dice just like chilling on my desk.
Yeah, like I looked at it like, well, assuming that like each of them is like $20-$30 a set, like lowballing it, that's like at least $300 of dice there.
Bitch, I literally only have 2 sets of dice. I have 2 sets of dice. One of them I bought myself, and then the other one was a gift actually from Sister Grimora. That's it. I literally only have 2 sets of dice, and yeah, that's literally all I have. But I have been looking at like new sets of dice and stuff like that. They've got some pretty cool shit now. Like they've got like because now people can just resin cast them. So I was looking at these dice online that like looked like fake jade, like they're made with like green and white resin, so they look like jade. And like, bitch, I'm Chinese, so I love that shit. And then 2,
the brand I really like has like gemstone dice, so I've just been staring at the lapis ones like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean that's also a choice, but they also have like, because you can just resin cast them now, people have like little dice, and inside are like tiny rubber duckies, and I think those are so fucking cute.
You do like a tiny stuffed animal.
I do.
I have 1d20, and then I don't know if I still have them or if I threw them away. I do have other dice, but I should not use those because the party would yell at me. They're my dad's old dice, which he made from scratch, but they're like weighted dice and like loaded dice. So like, like, I mean, they would all be D6s, but if you all want me to only roll like 4 or higher, then I'll get them, but no, like.
The weighted dice.
Oh yeah, because he used to gamble a lot. Or gamble, right? So
at the same time, that's such European energy.
That really
it
is.
But like he made them from scratch. Like he would just get like whatever the material was from. Like I don't know if you guys have the same casino dice in the US, but over here a lot of dice are like see-through red. So like he would just get a block of that and just cut down all the dice to size, and they would either be weighted or he would do, in hindsight, a very cheap trick, but I can't believe it fucking worked. The dice would be 4-5-6, 4-5-6, but the 6s would be on opposite sides, so you're never gonna like check that kind of situation.
Damn, what a god.
Yeah, and then
I mean, what you can do, like, well, I know when some people like load their dice, like a friend of mine paints their dice, and they wanted to see if they could make a loaded one just by like painting with like a little bit thicker paint or like a little bit like a metallic powder in the paint to like weigh it so like it rolls onto that side instead.
Yeah.
And it sent me because it works.
Wow.
No, it absolutely works. In the same way he had dice that only went up to 3 because he would like palm them in and out depending on like who was rolling and shit. And like he would also like mark cards and shit like that. He earned a lot of money gambling before I was born. But obviously gambled it all away, the piece of shit. But But yeah, like you fucking hear stories, or at least I always heard stories of like, yeah, we opened the closet and money literally just fell out because it couldn't fit. I'm like, bro, where did it all go?
Need that.
But yeah, so TLDR, those are the dice I have. But for relevance to D&D, I only have the one single D20 because I never played. I mean, we did IRL one shots, maybe like 3 times or something in like 6 years of D&D. So I super grew up playing online. Even before Roll20 was a thing, we just played with Skype and our imagination.
Wait, so have you like only been playing for 6 years?
Every week, yeah.
Oh, well, okay, then you have more cumulative playtime than I do.
Yeah, I mean, like, I started playing when I was like 17 or 18, and I played for like 6 years straight, pretty much. And then we kind of stopped being friends, so naturally the D&D group also fell apart.
That just goes to show you that D&D ruins friendships. No, just kidding.
I mean, I do have a story about that, but
We'll get into it.
We do love the tea spill.
I'll share it outside of the podcast because it puts some people in a bad light, and I don't think they listen, but I don't know. I'll share it off the podcast.
Yeah, you also don't want it, like in the internet forever, so I get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ariel, do you want to tell us a little bit about what went down in your session 0?
So my session 0 started with me just kind of like chilling by a river. Like it was kind of getting us to the point where we all meet up, essentially is what the session 0s were all for all of us, getting us to like the one central town. So I, backstory wise, was in mountains, I believe north of the town we were in. And for some reason I decided to go east. I had to think about it for a second. Instead of just down to the town, like I like made like a weird circle. I was like, all right, this is fine. And I happened upon like this little shack and 2 kobolds were in it. And my character has dark vision or greater dark vision. I don't know. We borked it, and I don't exactly remember what we borked it to.
You had greater dark vision, and then we nerfed you to regular dark vision. Bitch, I remember. The North remembers.
I was
Fuck Moon
I
Elves.
was able to see into the
Fuck Moon Elves.
I don't want to play with y'all anymore. Tell Scotty you're bullying me.
Wow.
Meow. So as a moon elf, one of like my traits is I'm super stealthy, so I was able to like sneak up to the house and like kind of peer in and saw these 2 kobolds just like chilling, and then he had me do a perception check, and like I didn't hear anybody else, I didn't see anything else. I was like, all right, cool. I decide to McMurder them. So I shot the first one, didn't have a chance. Shot the second one, didn't have a chance. And I think I like pinned it to a wall, or like I hit it just in the right spot that it like slammed against and like slid down.
Oh, hell yeah.
And ventured around in the house, and there was like a desk with a letter on it, but the letter was so faded because like the roof had caved in and the rain had come, and I was like, you couldn't give me like some angsty like letter just like left there, never to be sent to its person. I'm like, oh, it's just blank because the water washed it away. Like, motherfucker, what was the point of it being there then?
I mean, it would also be really funny though if like you pick up the letter and on it it's just dick butt, like that drawing dick butt.
He could have done anything, but instead I just kind of found like a blank letter chilling on a desk, and I was like, well, this is not nearly as fun.
Blank as far as you know.
Allegedly blank.
Allegedly.
Did you keep the letter? Did you pick it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because paper's expensive, dude. What do you mean? Paper's like 1 silver a piece, bro.
I retrieved my arrows, but one was so deeply embedded in the spine I was unable to retrieve it, and it snapped. But I got the other one back.
Smart.
We are a resourceful bitch.
That's good. That's literally what you want to do. You want to like actually go back and always pick up your ammunition, because if your DM is actually making you keep track,
It's going to be expensive.
Oh no, I picked that bitch up. I was like, we don't waste in this house.
You better start learning how to make arrows, by the way. Tooltip.
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 So I made my way towards the town. I believe it was Daggerford.
Yes, Daggerford.
Made it toward Daggerford, and there were some travelers outside in like covered wagons and stuff. And I passed by them, made my way around into the town.
Okay, well, I'll explain. I'll explain.
Like that? There's more to the story. I'm telling you what happened.
No. I'll explain later. But yeah, go ahead.
So made my way into town. My character's looking for a book because this bitch
Just any book? Just fuck it. Just
Well, going into it, I didn't.
Just fucking
Going into it, I didn't have like a specific book in mind. Like in my backstory, I just wrote she's just in search of a new book because the bitch loves to read. It's part of her backstory,
expensive.
and she'll read anything.
Expensive hobby.
I'm a noble. I got the money.
All right, Jesus Christ, must be nice being a 1%.
Yeah, I know. 1% with money. 1% also in the titty department. Bougie as fuck over here.
Fuck Moon
So
Elves.
made my way into town, went to the market. Since it's a smaller trade town, so I think the marketplace was just like mainly like regular vendors, like food vendors and like leather goods, stuff like that. So asked about a bookstore, and she directed me to this like place a couple roads over in the town. Got back there, and there was a halfling who just fawned over me the entire time, and I was just like, is this going to be the entirety of my D&D experience, just people hitting on me? Speak now. Tell me now.
At the same
What's your character's charisma?
Yeah, what's your character's charisma?
I'd have to pull it up and look. I don't remember
Roughly.
off the top of my head. I don't fucking remember. Hang on.
Are you
Let me
above a
see.
10? Are you above
I
a
think
10?
I'm like at a 10 or something like that.
Oh, so
I
I think I'm like at a 10 or something like that.
Oh, so you're slightly above average.
I'm slightly above average, but apparently, according to the halfling, I'm beautiful. So yeah, this halfling bookstall owner is just horny on me.
Yeah, I mean, so the halfling is just the DM personified.
It's a
We see you,
self-insert
DM.
character.
We know what you're doing.
Yeah, nice Gary Stew. See your shit.
So he didn't have the book I was looking for, but he offered to order it. He offered to ship it to me. He offered to find me wherever I may be in the wilderness to bring me this book that I want, which we
He
ended.
offered to perform cunnilingus.
Is he fucking Amazon? Like this halfling?
This
What's
is
his name? Fucking Joff Bozos? Like what's going on here?
no. His name was Vorbin.
Damn, she missed the joke. Never mind. We're gonna move on.
No, I got the joke, but like he actually did have a name.
Then they answered seriously.
I did answer seriously because I have to kill your joy at every moment.
That's rude. I'm being bullied.
Pee on him.
She said, "Kill the enjoyment." Hello.
So, left there, and when I was making my way towards the bookshop originally, there happened to be these two characters being escorted out by the guard in chains. One of them, a very, very large, muscular gentleman who was chained up and had his wrists bound to a chain attached to his belly because, like, at any moment he could just flex and they would explode off of him. And another smaller character who were handed off to the travelers, and the travelers handed off a significant bribe to the town guard to receive these two characters. I don't know who they are.
Allegedly.
Or do I? Allegedly, I don't know who they are.
This is gonna be interesting when I tell my side of the story, because I guess for context of the viewers, session 0, like Kelly's was first, then Ariel's, and then mine. So some things may have changed that didn't happen like during your session specifically, and I already know of one. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I already know of like one instance as well, but we'll go ahead and I mean,
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
Is that the end of your session that you saw that?
No. So I saw that happen, got to the bookstore, left the bookstore, but as I had passed those two gentlemen being led away, a female member of that traveling party came up to me and said, "If you can't find the book, come and find me." So after leaving the bookstore, I was like, you know what, let's go see what that traveler meant. So, I go outside, and it just so happens there's this group sitting a little bit of ways away from the travelers around a fire, and someone's playing the flute, and
Oh, there you go.
they're having a nice old party, and then that's when my session ended. Coming upon this group of people I've never met before.
All right, yeah, no, that totally tracks. But we'll go ahead and what happened in your session, Milan? Because apparently there's been some divergence.
Yeah, so a lot happened, but also not a lot in the sense of I didn't have much freedom. So backstory wise, the session started more or less like the last sentence of my backstory. My character comes home and he finds his entire family murdered. The family he's been working for like 20 years as a butler.
Oh,
His entire house has been murdered.
we going dark.
Yeah, and the bodies were still like super fresh, and then fucking guards walk in. So maybe like minutes after I got home, right? So very suspicious, but my character's like in shock. I don't resist arrest, blah blah blah, and then I get taken away in the paddy wagon,
Oh wow.
as they, because the noble house is like a mile or so outside of the city.
Oh, you got arrested.
I got arrested, yeah. And if I had resisted arrest, I would have just been clobbered by 4 guards. So either way, I'm ending up arrested. And because I shared my session with somebody else, the big muscular dude, we then switched to their perspective. I can dox their stuff, but I don't know if I should. So I'm
gonna dox who I played with. So Lamau.
All right, Joey. I know you're listening, but I get to tell your tale. I hope I do you justice. He wakes up in prison, and his memory is foggy because he doesn't exactly remember how he ended up there. He's being accused of like indecent exposure, attacking a guard, breaking and entering, like uncouth behavior, right? And
good word choice.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
I'm proud of that one.
Proud of you.
Me too. But the guard is like talking to a group of 3, I guess, travelers who are like woefully dressed, and you can easily tell they're not from Daggerforge. And they're like going like throughout the cells, and they're like, "How much for this one, bro?" Like they genuinely want to buy Joey's character. And the guard is like, "You know what? I don't fucking want coin for this. I just want payback." The guard goes into the cell to fight Cyphus, because I guess they fought the other night and now he wants payback. And the fight went really well for Cyphus because the guard kept missing, and on like the second hit, Joey rolls a natural 20. Like, before he rolls, he goes, I want to kick him in the balls. And then he rolls a natural 20 critting, and the guy just flops over. I'm like, damn, that dude is never having kids again. You know? Like,
Yeah, dude. Literally, yeah, at that point, his testes just exploded inside of the ball sack.
yeah. And obviously, deal's a deal. He gets released from prison and gets taken by the group because he's been bought now, at least as far as we know. And then as they're making their way to the city outside the gates, they notice that an execution is going on. Me. It's my character. I'm being executed for a murder that I'm being framed. And then the whole thing seems very fishy because I didn't have a trial. I wasn't even officially accused until like I had a noose around my neck is kind of when I found out like, oh wait, I'm being accused for this. And then I tried to argue the point, and the DM made me roll a persuasion check, and I rolled a natural one. Like, all right, I guess I kind of start believing that I'm the murderer too at this point. Like maybe I did do this shit. Like I don't fucking know. They make a good point. I was standing over the bodies,
Lamau.
So, and then the whole exchange happens like between the guards and the man from the traveling troupe, and he's like, "How much for that guy?" And then eventually I also get bought to a very roundabout way because the guard wasn't going to accept a bribe. So the dude just turns towards the crowd and goes like, all right, whoever helps me get this man out gets to have all this money. So like to kind of prevent a riot from erupting, the guard's like, all right, fine, take him. And then we got let outside the city. We're still shackled.
So that's probably when you saw him.
Yeah, I saw them right as Nifty was being, well, I didn't know it was Nifty at the time, was being taken off of the gallows.
Okay, yeah. So like I wasn't sure if like the execution part.
And Joey was still standing there like McShackled, ready for some D&D BDSM fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I tried to escape from the manacles, rolled poorly, just story of my life that session. And then we got led to their caravan group. And that's when, out of character, you guys are there already. So, like, that's also how I know that we're, like, chronologically the last to get there.
Oh, no, I arrived last.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you guys were already there when I made it to them.
I mean, listen. When we got there, we saw a moon elf coming from the east, from the harbor docks. Don't make me pull up my notes.
No, I got there. So when I got to the campsite, you guys had just gotten there.
Yeah.
Like I came right after you because after they got you guys, I still went to the bookstore.
Yeah, she basically
Fair.
walked past you and then double back.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like everybody else is already at the camp.
Mm-hmm.
You're all free though. We still have shackles, so that's a little bit. I feel a little bit bullied. I don't have my stuff yet either. Like I don't have my items, so we're gonna have to deal with that at session 1. So
all right, we go and we get your items, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm banned from the city, so like it's gonna be interesting.
We send in the child.
Hello.
We don't send in the child.
At the same time,
to a murder scene.
At the same time, the child might actually be okay because
oh yeah,
actually good.
I didn't have any combat.
Oh, well, let me just say, actually good segue. If you set the child in to actually do the thing, she probably would do well because she did really fucking well in her first session, her session 0. She high-key fucked. So basically what happened in my session 0 is that I'm traveling down the road, as a child does, wearing,
as a child does, yeah.
Wearing full chainmail and having a giant pike. So I'm walking down the road and I see a wood elf that is being attacked by wolves. So basically the DM really paints a picture that like these wolves are bad news and they're attacking this wood elf. So I need to do the thing. So my character is just like, oh, those are bad doggies. It's time to vanquish them. So I meander over. I spend a turn running, like T1000 running, basically, over to obviously a wood elf by the name of Arlen Red Fox, who introduces themselves after they almost die.
As one does.
As one does, of course. And so I immediately come over. I'm like, oh, it looks like you need help, right? Kind of thing. And then Arlen is just like, fuck, because they're getting attacked by 2 wolves. So I immediately, the wolf ends up missing, I think, and then Arlen threw like a dart. The dart hits the wolf. It did some damage or whatever. But it takes me a while to get over there, right? There's 2 like rounds, basically a whole round of combat before I'm able to run over. And then this wolf ends up fucking rolling hella good. Almost one-shots Arlen.
Oof.
And so the one in front of
Dangers of level 1, man.
Yeah. So in front of Arlen, my character, whose name is Ophelia, runs over and basically just pikes that bitch in the face. And that wolf fucking dies because I rolled really well and it had already been damaged by that dart. So that wolf just fucking dies. I literally just pike it directly in the face and it like sloughs off my pike and like crumbles to the floor.
F
and
for
then
the doggy.
yeah, F and chat for the dog. But it was a bad doggy. Remember,
Mm.
character was like, it's a bad doggy. I have to destroy it now. So then what ended up happening is that the secondary wolf rolled really well, almost one-shots Arlen, knocks Arlen prone because they failed a check where the wolf basically lunged at him. And so Arlen's on the ground. So my character was debating on whether or not casting a certain spell, but I decided the best defense is an offense. And at this point, I'm just like, my character is probably drunk on bloodlust, so go ahead. So I end up piking that bitch in the face too, and I one-shot it. Fucking dies. Because I just rolled really fucking well damage-wise. So the wolf dies, it's just like crumples up to the floor. Arlen at the time is like bleeding profusely out of their neck, and they are fucked up. But as I'm like standing there, we hear a caravan come around the corner. I was getting ready to like heal them and, you know, like introduce themselves to me, and my character was just like, oh, wow, nice to meet you. So glad I have a friend on the road, because, you know, she's too trusting and she's an idiot. So I immediately was just like, friend! And then this covered wagon comes around the corner and there's like this band troupe of basically what the DM described as, you know, traveling entertainers, Romani people kind of vibe. And one of the characters that happen to like come out or whatever, like she's like a couple years older than my character. So I'm immediately just like, oh wow, we can be friends too, kind of thing. And then she's like, yeah, you know, why don't you like get in this covered wagon and I'll like give you a lift. And then I was like, okay, sounds good. And then like my character just walks right in, right?
Damn.
And then I'm like, oh, but my friend's like not doing so good. Like, can you help me out? She's like, yeah. And they give Arlen Red Fox, which is played by Chris, by the way, aka Terrible Hime. And Arlen takes like a big swig of the health it ends up being a health potion. They didn't get poisoned, which is great. And so we ended up getting into these covered wagons because they're like, yeah, we're going to Daggerford. And then like my character, as well as Chris's, are like, sweet, we're headed that way. And then we get in there, and then like Chris's character tries to play the flute, but they play really bad. So it sounds like the recorder version of the Titanic theme song, and we had a good laugh.
On brand for Chris.
I think she literally rolled like a 3.
Oh.
They rolled a 3, and then like her proficiency would put her at a 5, and so it was bad rendition of whatever the fuck she was trying to play. And so I'm in the caravan and I'm like basically like shooting the shit with like the girl that's around my same age, because I'm like, oh, we can be friends, like kind of thing, because my character, again, naive and kind of dumb.
Mhm.
And she's like, yeah, let's do that. So then we go over to Daggerford, and so we're actually in the covered wagons. When you were walking by and you chose to sneak past or whatever, Ariel, we were in the covered wagons like chilling.
Oh.
So you could have like interacted with us basically early on.
Oh.
So the guy, I forget his name, I think it's like Sylvain or something like that, but he ended up just being like, yeah, I got some business to do in town, but I just want to, I know.
Business.
You mean the main dude?
Yeah, whatever the fuck. Yeah, sure.
He had business.
He had business to do in town, and my character's like, okay, sounds good. And then
He's chilling.
yeah, I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'm gonna hang out with like the little girl.
Yeah. But business was literally buying potential slaves, I guess, you know?
I guess, yeah. So then
F, man.
yeah. So then he basically says, you know, like, by the way, you're seeking something, aren't you? And then my character's like, yeah, you know, just again, extremely naive. Tells him exactly what her quest is. Yeah, I'm seeking this book kind of thing. And then he's like, oh, you know, I might have a way for you to like get that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into town and like talk to some of my people. I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'm going to like stay and hang out with your daughter. And so I stay and hang out with the daughter. And then Chris's character like plays a little bit more flute this time, but this time she rolls well and she does a little ditty and we're all dancing around the fire.
Yeah.
And that's the end of my session 0.
That's good.
Yeah, we had a great time.
I mean, we're all together. Like, I don't like, my only regret is honestly, my average roll was a 5 across the board. The only good roll I had was when we arrived at the camp and a nun was being described, aka Ophelia, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, just roll religion to see if you recognize the symbol. And that's when I found out apparently my character's a lot more religious than I thought he was because he knows about horror because I rolled a 17. So like, hell yeah. That was my only good roll the entire session. I couldn't roll myself out of a paper bag.
I wonder if we're looking for the same book.
We might be. I mean, who knows?
I'm gonna thumb wrestle for it.
I will say I tried to use the double attack, but one of my attacks missed because I only rolled like a 10, so I didn't hit the wolf. But then my second attack did hit at a 17, and then when I rolled for damage, I hit for 10. So I literally just fucking destroyed that wolf. I was like,
Blah, blah.
But basically, when I got there, everybody was staring at me because I was, a 14-year-old child in like full chainmail, like chilling with a pike that's like covered in wolf blood. I'm just like, hi, I'm here for friends.
Let's be
And
friends.
that's literally her. She's so alone and like, wants so badly to make friends.
Aw.
But yeah, that's basically what happened in my session. Chris almost died. I saved her life by impaling 2 wolves on my pike. And yeah, we ended up making it to Daggerford. All we had to do was just get in some covered wagons by people that we didn't fucking know and trusting complete strangers, which is exactly what my character would do. So.
You should do a Monique cart and make boots out of the wolf where like the jaws are just like up around your knees.
Oh my god, super fucking funny story about that, because Chris initially was just like, I want to try to skin the wolf, right? But her knowledge nature is so fucking shitty. And she didn't have a dagger. So then she asked my character for a dagger. And so my character, being trusting and like an idiot, is like, sure, here you go. And like hands over the dagger, And
Oh
then
my God.
Chris's character just straight up is just like, rolls for knowledge nature, rolls terribly. And so the DM was basically just like, yeah, you really don't know how to do this. You end up just embedding the dagger into the wolf's flesh and you have a hard time pulling it out. like an inept person just like continues to just poke the wolf with the dagger.
Yep.
There goes our wolf boots.
Yep. So yeah, we were not able to get those wolf boots, but it was thought of, and she did want to, use it. But yeah, Chris's character is like a sexy wood elf, like tan skin, hot dude, buff, muscular, but also stupid. Because the two of us are just like,
Oh, Chris is a dude?
I mean, that's not why he's stupid.
no. He's just
For the record, I know that sounded. I was like, because he's a dude. Oh, he's
No, I didn't say cuz he's a dude. I said, oh, she's a dude.
yes. So Chris is role playing a character that is a dude, and he's also dumb. So the two of us are just like. Like idiots together. We're just like, yeah, let's just blindly trust these people. This sounds good. And then it ended up being totally fine, which was great. But at the same time, the two of us were just like, yeah.
Just like sharing one brain cell.
Literally.
Like, Mom said it's my turn to use the brain cell.
Going back and forth between the two of you.
Yeah. The two of us actually like joked about it after the fact. We'd send each other that one emote that Chris has in her chat where it's like the blob going like this.
Yeah.
Like she would send the blob and then I would send the blob and be like our two brain cells like vibing together. Because the two of us constantly were just like, yeah, let's do that. Even though like it made me want to, like, part of me was just like, the meta is I wouldn't trust these people just blindly coming out of nowhere kind of thing. But then I thought,
yeah, I mean, you have to, like, even if it's a little bit out of character, like in character, the moment I was off the news, my character would have like just booked it, or tried to disappear into the crowd. It's like, I'm not going to do that for session 0. This is literally spinning out the transition to get us started.
Yeah, at the same time, it's like I low-key wanted to like meta, but then I thought about it, I was like, no, my character is an idiot. She would blindly trust these people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was like, oh, look, you have somebody around my age. I'm around that age too. We should be friends. Let's go.
It was so funny. He tried so hard to like get me to go to those travelers. Like when we were like first passing by them, he's like, you pass by them and they're so colorful and bright. And I was like, cool, I'm going to continue to the port gate. Because my character's not about that. My character is not like, oh, look at all these bright, beautiful colors. I'm going to wander over here and take a little look-see. I'm like, nah, bro, I came here to do something. I'm going to do the thing.
Meanwhile, Chris is just like, oh, I see you guys play instruments. I play an instrument too. Starts playing the flute, and then my character's like, yay, and starts dancing.
I too am something of a musician.
Yes, exactly. But then not the first time. Not the first
but
time.
Not really.
It was Titanic on a shitty recorder.
Just warming up,
Yeah.
Also, I guess as a PSA to anyone playing D&D, but also if any of our players are listening, or if you don't have it yet, Ariel, get a dagger. Any dagger.
Always have one.
Get a dagger. Like, even if you're not proficient, doesn't matter. Sooner or later, you're going to go, I want to cut the rope. And the DM's going to go, with what? And
I mean, I have 2 swords.
Sure, but they're a lot more cumbersome than a dagger. Get a dagger.
I'm dexterous as fuck, bitch.
Just get a dagger,
Get one.
honestly.
Just get a dagger.
Did you get your dagger back?
Yes. Took it out of the wolf carcass.
But in general, because like even if you're a wizard, just get a small knife, a dagger. If you're not playing 5th, I think 5th edition specifically has small pocket knives. But
yeah,
just get one the same way that once you have some money, get some sacks, get some burlap sacks and stuff to carry stuff in, etc.
For sure. It makes total sense because, like, imagine if I didn't have that dagger and then we're trying to skin the wolf with a fucking pike. It's not going to work out good.
Yeah.
It didn't work out good with the dagger.
No.
And just in general, right? Like you're typically like camping, you're out in the wild. It makes sense to have a small knife to use for like cutting finer things, right?
I think I have a small knife in my camping set.
Yeah, you probably do. But I'm just saying, if you don't get one, it's very cheap if you don't have one by default.
Because at the end of the day, it's better to be over prepared than under. But it was also really nice because the DM was just like, yeah, you've been traveling for a while. But since we ended up meeting that traveling band of people, they ended up feeding us. So I didn't have to go through any of my rations.
Damn, can't relate. I got fucking manhandled by everybody.
Well,
I bought grapes.
you bought some grapes?
I did.
You gotta add that to your character sheet,
Grapes?
or so I've heard.
It's on my character sheet.
I didn't look at your character sheet. It's just what I heard. That's such a zero. Don't come for me.
What do you mean you heard? Is he talking shit about me?
Yeah, because fuck
Moon
Moon
Elves.
Fuck you! At least I didn't. Of course the butler did it. Of course the butler did it. What the fuck kind of clue is this shit?
That'll be all for this week. That's all from us. No, I'm curious to how that's going to unfold because I intentionally left that open. I mean, for the record, my character didn't do it, obviously, but as in, I didn't specify in my backstory.
A likely story from a murderer.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
I hate it here. Mom, can you pick me up? I'm being cyberbullied right now.
I love the fact that, like, you're like, oh, I'm being cyberbullied. Meanwhile, this entire time, we've just been screaming, fuck Moon Elves, and Ariel's still here.
I mean, that's not
Bullying.
cyberbullying. That's just the fact of life.
Because Moon Elves live.
They're real! They are a thing in D&D.
Water is wet. Fuck Moon Elves.
Fuck you.
I never said they weren't real.
Fight, 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 fight.
Alright, bruh. Me,
But yeah.
you. Give me a couple hours. I have to get on a plane. Come kick your ass.
I actually don't know if borders are open to the US yet.
I don't think they are.
Fuck the US. Fuck Moon Elves.
Hot takes there. Hot takes.
But yeah, so
Editor, I'm going to need you to remove every instance where they say, fuck Moon Elves.
Only
Thank
one,
you so
only one.
much.
don't though. It's funny.
I'll Venmo you later.
$40. No.
No eye contact.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes, especially like once we get more into our characters.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
I personally like have a lot of trouble with that. Like I need a couple sessions to get like warm the engine
Oh
up.
man, I went in already. I'm like, I know exactly what she's gonna do, what she's gonna say, who she is.
Yeah.
Just eviscerating wolves and screaming bad doggy as I just pike them in the brain. It's perfect.
Yeah, like I have a general idea, but if you like start asking random ass questions for no other reason than just purely to role play, like I need like an extra beat. Like think of something rather than it be a natural
hmm
in character.
Oh, it was so
response, you know?
funny because like Chris's character literally was just like, "Do you have a dagger? Like, can I borrow that from you?" And I'm just like, "I think it's customary we at least greet ourselves." And hi, you know, I put my hand out.
Hi! When I was in the bookstore, like the little halfling dude apparently was just like staring at me like over a book. And I think my character, like at some point I just turned around and I was like, if you paint a portrait, it'll last longer.
Oh yeah, you dragged him.
Bro.
This bitch instantly like was like, really? And then like yeeted back behind like the little desk. Too much theater. Yeeted back behind the desk to like pull out like paints and sketchbooks and started drawing me immediately. And I was just like,
The fuck?
fuck.
I'm so excited. I hope honestly.
I really hope next week we don't have like a quick update of so anyway, our characters died.
Last week on Dragon Ball Z, you all were murdered. Good job.
Because by the time this airs, right, like session 1 will have happened.
Oh yeah.
hmm
And then by the time the quote unquote update would happen, by the time that airs, we would have also had a session 2.
hmm
Yeah, hopefully we don't have like a errata. Hey, guess what? One of our characters died. I'm now playing blah.
Fucking editors know in the comments.
Here's my character's sister ready to go.
Twin sister moment. See, for me, I think like if my character ends up dying, I'll end up making something completely different. I thought about it, and I'm like already kind of thinking about
Same.
if my character dies. Like I'm already started brainstorm like a new thing.
Yeah, same. If my character dies, I'm making a warlock.
Bruh, I was totally gonna make like a warlock or like a sorcerer or
I'll
something.
fucking race you to who dies first. Like I don't know what you want.
I mean, at the same time, judging by how we're rolling, I think you're more likely to die. Than
I'm just
me.
getting the bad rolls out of the way.
That's true.
I think if you both die, I'll flip a D2.
and I'll still make a warlock. Do you think her choice influences me?
Huh?
Nah, dude.
Nah.
It's the same for her. Like, she doesn't give a fuck what I roll.
We all die. The party just becomes entire magic users.
Oh god.
Magic user, baby. It's just like, have you ever seen the episode of Community where they play Dungeons and Dragons? It's so fucking funny. Ken Jeong's character, like in Community, like they all like part out the different D&D characters, and like Britta ends up getting like fucking like Hector the Well Endowed. Ken Jeong's character gets like Brutalitops the Magician. Like he's so
The Well Endowed. That's my next character
Hector
name.
the Well Endowed.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you've never seen the episode of Community where they play D&D, it's super fucking funny. Please go watch it. It sends me every single fucking time. But yeah, go watch it. But at this point, I mean, we've kind of recapped our session zeros. We're all caught up, and it's actually been an hour. So
Yeah, I glossed over one thing. So
all right.
to quickly add it, not in its full story because I already forgot it, but if I don't at least mention Wendy the prostitute who clobbered Joey for her money, then Joey's gonna leave an angry comment. And how dare I forget? So this one's for you.
Damn, Joey, like getting laid already?
Apparently.
Yeah,
Damn, Joey, look at you. You sow those oats. You fuck it up.
it's a regular thing, I imagine.
My character's only 14.
Just like down the road in a campaign, when he comes back pregnant.
Mpreg? Oh my god, is Mpreg is Mpreg gonna be canon in this campaign?
Why? I mean, sure, but
It's just like my Japanese animes. But yeah, so if you've ever played D&D and you have like some exciting fucking shit that you want to share with us, go ahead, leave a comment. If you want Joey to be Mpregged, leave a comment.
if you want to educate us about Vor, please leave a comment.
It always stands. It always stands. If you want to tell me about Vor, go ahead. I've been asking since like the dawn of time. I've still been asking. I'm hungry for that information, but
One day.
hungry.
One
Hungry.
day.
Vor.
Hungry.
I'm
Gaping.
voraciously
Ready.
I'm voraciously ready to learn about that information. But yeah, that'll probably be it for us this week. But while you're down there, why don't you go have a little likey poo, a little dislikey poo or whatever, and subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the more we can get that sweet vanity URL we still don't have yet because absence of God. But yes, this will be Kelly signing off for the Nifty Cauldron podcast, episode 32, featuring Ariel.
Bye, all. Thanks for having me.
Goodbye. Fuck Moon Elves. Milan.
Bitch.
I agree with that sentiment, but yeah, fuck Moon Elves. We'll see you next week, and thanks for coming, Ariel.
Thanks for having me. Fuck y'all.
Anime pussy. Good night.